Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 27th Annual Broadcasting and Cable Hall of Fame. Join us as we honor this year's inductees. William Abbott, Kevin Beggs, Gary Bettman, Peter Dunn, Robert Greenblatt, John Landgraf, Susan Swain and Rob Kennedy, John Waller III, Seema Sargami. This year's Chairman's Award, Senator Gordon Smith. And this year's show inductee, The View. This year's Lifetime Achievement Award, Maria Elena Salinas. This program is brought to you by our sponsors, Ion Media, 21st Century Fox, NBC Universal, and our presenting sponsor of all of New York City Television Week, Google. A portion of tonight's proceeds will be donated to the Broadcasters Foundation of America and the Paley Center for Media. Hosting tonight, Maurice Dubois and Marvin Scott. Now, please welcome to the stage the chairman of the Broadcasting and Cable Hall of Fame, Bill McGorry, and the group publisher of Broadcasting and Cable and Multi-Channel News, Charlie Weiss.
Tonight is another special evening for the broadcasting and cable industry as we induct the Hall of Fame class of 2017. But before we get to our distinguished honorees, I'd like to invite our alumni from the Hall of Fame who are present to please stand and be acknowledged. Thank you. I now welcome my colleague, broadcasting and cable publisher, Charlie Weiss.
Bill McGorry, everyone. Thank you, Bill. Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for being here tonight. It's because of your tremendous support and generosity that we're able to make contributions to the Broadcasters Foundation of America and the Paley Center for Media. As many of you know, tonight's event kicks off our New York City Television Week. We're extremely grateful to our Hall of Fame sponsors, Ion Media, 21st Century Fox, NBC Universal, and our presenting sponsor for all of New York City Television Week, Google. It's my great pleasure to let you know that tonight, for the first time in the 27 years of Hall of Fame history, we're streaming live on our Broadcasting Cable Facebook page. And even though it's a first, we already know that many are tuned in right now watching you here tonight. We also invite you to stay and join us for our champagne celebration and silent auction immediately following the conclusion of the show. So let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome back to the stage Bill McGorry.
A little housekeeping first. Unfortunately, Susan Lucci had an emergency and couldn't come this evening, and we are pleased to invite Marvin Scott and welcome him for having stepped in. Thank you, Marvin. I didn't want to disappoint anyone. Sean Spicer was not available, so we reached out, and Marvin, you're the man. Thank you. Our first host, Maurice Dubois, is a 5-time award-winning journalist. He splits his duties between CBS 2, CBS Evening News, 60 Minutes Sports, and CBS Sunday Morning. Maurice has 4 honorary PhDs and is very active in many local charities. Ladies and gentlemen, Maurice Dubois.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you all so much tonight. We've got a heck of a crowd. We've got an amazing lineup of honorees tonight. Honored to be here. If I know anything about this crowd, I know that you all want to get right to it. We'll follow the 5 B's of speech making. Be brief, brother, be brief. We'll get right to it on a night that the Yankees are playing. Thanks for picking it. Thanks for picking tonight. Really appreciate that. So we'll get right to it then. Our first honoree tonight, Crown Media's president and CEO is Bill Abbott. He has created some of the most family-friendly programming in all of television. He's helped to take a household brand and bring it to new audiences with dynamic program that really hits home.
The first time I met Bill Abbott was when we were on the set of the When Calls the Heart movie. And when you hear like the network president is coming, it's intimidating, but he's so accessible.
Bill and I actually first met when Bill joined the Hallmark Channel as the Exec VP Sales. We were a one-channel operation and we were struggling. As a matter of fact, we were even considering selling the channel at that time. When Bill was promoted from Exec VP Sales to President and CEO of the company, the change was dramatic.
He really had a vision of what he wanted to mold Hallmark Channel into.
The job that Bill and his team have done in identifying special events like the countdown to Christmas, countdown to Valentine's, the countdown to all of these holidays has been unique.
Whether you celebrate Christmas or not, I have people come up to me and say, "Can't wait for the Hallmark Christmas movies. It's amazing." What I love about Hallmark's motto is when your children run in the room, you don't have to grab the remote and change the channel. You don't have to worry about what they're seeing. And that comes from Bill, and that comes from the fact that he is a good family man.
Outside of work, Bill is very much like he is at work. Very straightforward, very moral, very close to his family.
I don't know that by looking at Bill that you would think like he would be the guy out drinking with you late at night, but he is. I hope I don't get in trouble for that.
Bill has been very interested in the care and feeding of animals.
Big supporter of North Shore Animal League. That's why they have Beth Stern involved so heavily with the Kitten Bowl. What I really like is he now has gotten involved in bringing home military dogs.
Bill's success is due to tenacity, vision, and a laser-like focus.
He's very involved in the creative aspect. He really takes an interest in what the message is. He wants everyone to turn off the channel at the end of the night when they're done watching and feel uplifted.
The Hallmark Channel has gone from a de minimis number of subscribers to nearly 90 million subscribers, and they've added 2 more channels.
I adore him. I adore everyone at Hallmark, and I say to Bill all the time, if I only ever, for the rest of my career, work for you guys, I'll be happy.
Bill, it's my pleasure to congratulate you on a well-deserved honor being inducted into the Broadcasting and Cable Hall of Fame.
It's well-deserved. I'm really happy for you, and I know you must be feeling so proud right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome William Abbott.
So thank you, Maurice. And first pitch is 8:08, so I will move on very quickly here. But thank you for that kind introduction, and thank you everyone at Broadcasting and Cable, especially Bill McGarry, for the tremendous honor. I also want to congratulate fellow inductees, and it's really humbling to be recognized with such great company. But I would not be here tonight without the terrific team of whom many are here. Andy Rook, Suzanne McAvoy, Kristen Roberts, and Ed Georger are all here with us tonight, along with Michelle Vickery and Erin McIlvain, who could not be with us, but those are the people who really deserve the recognition. You are all special leaders with an unparalleled commitment to excellence, and I'm very proud to accept this honor on behalf of you and the entire team at Crown Media. Additionally, I want to thank 3 other people who also could not be with us but have been instrumental to me personally. Don Hall Jr., CEO of Hallmark Cards, embodies integrity and vision. Ann Carlson, who many of in this room know, Ann, as you know, always has the right answers. She's a pillar of strength and one of the smartest people in the business. And my daughter Beth, who is studying for midterms at Barnard, and always makes me proud. By the way, I assure you, none of these people are at the Yankee game, that I know of anyway. I also want to thank a couple of special guests who've joined me this evening. Bill Sella, a trusted advisor, Broadcasting and Cable Hall of Fame inductee himself, and his wife Elaine. And also Brad Cravoy, one of the longest standing production partners that we have at Crown Media, and the architect of countless Hallmark Channel original movies and series, some of which we actually like. Over the years, the team at Crown Media has been told many things that have been negative, from it's impossible to survive as an independent, to the business must be sold for the channel to continue, and without a big entertainment corporate parent, we would go out of business. Yet Crown Media has not only survived, but has become highly profitable with a remarkably bright future. Our ad sales team is also here in force tonight, and they are one of the primary reasons for our success, so thank you to our ad sales team. In fact, in the days when we've launched several new businesses since that point, including Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, Hallmark Drama, Hallmark Movies Now, all of which expand the Hallmark brand and entertainment. And it is indeed a privilege to work for Hallmark Cards, our parent company that has run with such great focus and integrity. In closing, though, I want to thank the one person who I would not be in this position without, and that is my wife, Shannon. She is not only the most beautiful person I know on the inside and out, but also a trusted confidant, best friend, and terrific mom who gave up her own career to raise our sons, who are also here tonight, Oliver and Jamie, and our daughter, Perry. As I mentioned, they're also here with me tonight, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So thank you for putting up with my crazy schedule, for your support, and for making me proud every day. I dedicate this recognition to you. Thank you very much.
Smart man right there. Knows where his bread is buttered, right? With no industry connections, our next honoree, our next inductee, Kevin Beggs, worked his way up from the bottom. In less than 2 decades, he's become the CEO of Lionsgate Television Group. He's grown the division into an industry powerhouse, which has garnered vast critical and financial success. Let us hear and see how he did it.
I first met Kevin on the set of Baywatch. What really impressed me is really how he looked in a bathing suit. I've never seen him again in a bathing suit, but there have been a lot of other things that have really impressed me about Kevin.
Kevin was actually at Lionsgate even before I got here, and I think he wanted to test me a little, so he'd send me an email at 8 o'clock at night, and he'd get one back. He'd send me another one the next night at 10, and he'd get another one back. And by the time he was doing them in the middle of the night, I said, okay, Kevin, you win. You work harder than I do.
He was devoted and committed to really learning the business and growing in the business. Friendship and loyalty are very precious to him.
You know, for some people it's half empty, for some people it's half full, and for Kevin, honestly, it's full all of the time.
He's a dedicated father and husband. I think Kevin has been incredibly successful in marrying two worlds, pure business with being a good person.
And when you think about where Kevin started,
I moved to Los Angeles, but with no connections in the business, it was not easy. Temping at Arrowhead Water is not a sustainable career.
He has built one of the great television businesses, I believe, in the history of television, and he basically built it from scratch.
Trigger warning. The following program is meant for both white and black audiences, and every other color imaginable.
Dear white people.
When you take a look not just at the quantity of shows that Kevin and his group in Lionsgate has on the air, but when you look at the diversity of the networks and the outlets that it serves, it is really impressive.
Mad Men and Orange is the New Black and Weeds, sort of evergreens that people will watch forever.
Being inducted into the Broadcasting and Cable Hall of Fame is certainly a great honor.
Kevin, I know you invented Lionsgate 360, but as far as I'm concerned, tonight is Kevin 360. You're a great partner. You're a great man. It's great working with you, and I want to congratulate you tonight for being honored by the Broadcast and Cable Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kevin Beggs.
Wow. I haven't watched that tape until tonight. That was amazing. Thank you, John. Thank you, Dick. Really remarkable. I'm truly humbled to be here tonight and to be counted among Broadcasting and Cable's Hall of Fame honorees, past and present. I've had the rare good fortune of working with incredible mentors, wildly talented colleagues, world-class artists, generous industry peers, and a wonderful family. Everything has been made possible by them, and I would like to mention a few briefly. I've been here before. To Matt Hastings, who rescued me from Arrowhead Water and lined up my first interview for a production assistant job. To Doug Schwartz and Michael Berg for taking a chance on a public school teacher, which led to an 8-year television apprenticeship. To Lee Brakeen for suggesting a meeting with Frank Giustra and Dennis Miller about their ambitions in the television business. To John Feltzheimer and Michael Burns for making those television ambitions a reality and building a major studio and one-of-a-kind corporate culture at Lionsgate. To Dick Lippin, who counseled me on the wisdom of personal philanthropy and industry service. To Sandra Stern, who decided that rather than further perfect her tennis game, she would join the Lionsgate family and in so doing, transform our television business. To Chris Selleck, Laura Kennedy, Jim Packer, Ira Bernstein, Mort Marcus, Gary Goodman, Jen O'Connell, Dan Hadel, Matthew Kearns, A.J. Morowitz, Betty Lee, Chad Kennedy, Mike Weinstein, Peter Iacono, Agapi Kaparenas, Lawrence Zabo, Peter Wilkes, Ross Pollock, Brian Tannenbaum, Jody Robert, Mike Pasternak, Eric Feig, and so many other trusted colleagues at Lionsgate. Thank you for your dedication and brilliance. To Doug Herzog and Jeff Wachtel, who said yes to the Dead Zone. To fellow honoree Bob Greenblatt, Gary Levine, Perlina Ibakwe, and Danielle Gelber, who greenlit Weeds and Nurse Jackie. To Les Moonves and David Nevins for supporting both relentlessly. To Josh Sapan, Ed Carroll, Charlie Collier, Rob Sorcher, Christina Wayne, and Joel Stillerman, who did the same on Mad Men. To Ted Sarandos and Cindy Holland, who bought Orange is the New Black based on a title and Genji's track record, and who had the courage to program Dear White People in this polarized political climate. To Mark Greenberg, Brad Schwartz, and Chris Albrecht, trusted programming partners. To the innumerable and invaluable writers, directors, performers, crew members, agents, managers, attorneys, publicists, and network executives whose artistry makes all of our jobs possible. To my beautiful, often exasperated, and steadfast wife, Diana, and our amazing children, Catherine and Braden, you are what makes it all worthwhile. And to all of you tonight, I offer my profound gratitude. Thank you.
Our next inductee is the NHL Commissioner, Gary Bettman. He is truly in a league of his own. He's the longest tenured commissioner in team sports. Let's see how Gary has used broadcasting and cable to grow the sport and to bring it to new audiences.
The cup is at stake. Different level altogether.
One of the nicest we have ever seen.
The opportunity out in front.
When did I first meet Gary?
Gary who?
It would have been when we interviewed him for commissioner.
I first met Gary when he was at the NBA and I was at Turner Broadcasting.
Gary stood out. He trained as a lawyer at Cornell.
He's direct, he's forceful, he's kind. He's got an agenda to represent his league.
He's looking after the league first, second, and third. Whoa! Gary is a terrible golfer like I am.
I'm always looking for a rematch. I've never been to a game with him where there hasn't been friends and family with him. I know he goes to a lot of his grandchildren's hockey games.
He really took us from the Stone Age to where I think we're in a leadership position in many ways.
I love your energy.
He's also changed the game. It's a lot less about size and clutching and grabbing. The game is so much skill and speed and excitement now. Running as the commissioner of the National Hockey League, he has reshaped their media landscape, not only here in the United States, but he's done it in Canada, which is another home country for the National Hockey League.
He's built a tremendous team, and therefore he's backed up with some well-trained people that are really devoted to him and to the game of hockey.
I don't believe there's any tournament as exciting as the Stanley Cup playoffs when it comes to television and media. Gary, congratulations on being inducted into the Broadcasting and Cable Hall of Fame.
I wish you well, and it's very, very well deserved.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gary Bettman.
Thank you, everyone, and I am honored to be here tonight with the other inductees. Congratulations to all of you, and to all of those who have preceded us into the Broadcasting and Cable Hall of Fame. When I joined the NHL in 1993, the sports and broadcasting industries were vastly different. There was only standard definition analog television, which certainly didn't help to convey the images and excitement of hockey. HDTV didn't come along until 1998. If you wanted to use your computer for research, you had to find creative ways to look things up because Google didn't make the scene until 1998. There were no faces on Facebook. It didn't debut until 2004. And there were no tweets because Twitter didn't arrive until 2006. And by today's standards, smartphones weren't very smart. The iPhone wasn't available until 2007. Today, fortunately, virtually everything on television is available in HD, which might well benefit our sport more than any other. Plus, sports are available, as you all know, on a variety of digital platforms, including Facebook, Google, and Twitter. So it has been fascinating to live through the evolution of this technology, particularly broadcast technology, because that evolution has given sports fans more opportunities than ever to connect. To reflect changing times, it has been a priority for our league to join with our broadcast partners to embrace advancement in the content we deliver. So, for example, in 2008, the Winter Classic, our premier outdoor game, was developed in partnership with NBC and has become a tradition that will observe its 10th anniversary this coming January 1st here in New York. Another innovation designed in partnership with NBC was to bring an analyst closer to the action, in fact, on ice level between the player benches, so the analysts literally could bring fans inside the glass. And while it was the subject of much discussion and some derision in 1996, the technology of Fox Sports' glowing puck was the precursor of the first down line that has become standard practice for any football broadcast and a number of other innovations. Actually, we are working on dramatically updated versions of that technology, and we have plans to roll out updated player and puck tracking. We are literally going back to the future. So tonight, as I accept induction into the Broadcasting and Cable Hall of Fame, I want to recognize the contributions of everyone currently or previously at the NHL, both at the league office and at our clubs, and particularly the NHL owners who have been so supportive. I also want to thank our broadcast partners who have helped elevate the state of our game through television. Many thanks and much gratitude to NBC Sports for seeing the potential in hockey and giving us such incredible coverage. In particular, Mark Lazarus, who you saw in the video, John Miller and Sam Flood, and of course, Dick Ebersol and Ken Shanzer, who had the vision and foresight to bring us to NBC, as well as our friends at Comcast. So thank you, Brian Roberts and Steve Burke. Thank you as well to our friends north of the border at Rogers, and in particular, Scott Moore and Keith Pilley. And I would be remiss if I also didn't thank David Hill, then at Fox, who brought the NHL back to network TV and began the glowing puck adventure. Both David and the puck were ahead of their time. I would also have to thank and like to thank my wife of 42 years, Shelley, and our children, the 3 we gave birth to and the 3 by marriage, and all of our grandkids. None of this would have happened without their support at home. Who could have predicted, not me certainly, that 25 years ago, last Wednesday, I would stand in an arena in Las Vegas to watch a professional sports team from Las Vegas play its first home game at an arena named T-Mobile. But there I watched the power of sports at its absolute finest. The power of sports to unite and strengthen a community, to offer hope and healing to spirits battered by a horrific tragedy. Players from both teams stood together with first responders in support of a community. It was dramatic, it was emotional, it was a remarkable scene, and a moment that was broadcast around this country by NBC Sportsnet and in Canada by Rogers, a moment shared around the world by Twitter and Facebook, a moment that generated over 18 million searches on Google. Perhaps all of this would have been unimaginable just a few decades ago. On November 26th, the NHL will celebrate our 100th birthday. Thanks to the efforts of many of the people in this room tonight and the spectacular advancements of just the past 25 years, the next 100 years of NHL hockey look even more promising. I look forward to the next steps in that journey. Thank you all, and congratulations again to tonight's Hall of Fame honorees.
Feels like we need sports now more than ever in so many ways. Our next honoree happens to be my boss, Peter Dunn, the president of the CBS television stations. He's truly a gentleman, a leader, longtime friend, known him for 20 years. Got to tell you, neither he nor I saw tonight coming. I don't know how I'm going to address him from now on. Mr. Cooperstown, Mr. Hall of Famer. We joke because we love, right? Peter's a passionate guy. He appreciates television because it's in his blood. Along with his persistence and demand for excellence, they've served him well as he's worked his way up to president of the CBS station group nationwide. And there's one person who would be very proud if he were alive today. Take a look and you'll see why.
Peter's been a colleague of mine for more than 15 years. He ran our station in Philadelphia, our station in New York City, and then in 2005, he got all the stations that we have, all 27 of them.
I first met Peter when we came to CBS. We were trying to get coverage for our foundation. It was named after my brother, Stephen Silla, who died on 9/11. And I found out that we had this unbelievable connection from Rockville Center, where my brother Stephen went to school, and actually my brother Russ taught him. He was the point guard. It was back in the 70s, so I don't know if you want to see him with the tight white shorts on that everybody wore. But the things that stood out the most to Russ that he said that he just was such a leader. He has brought our foundation into a light that shines on us in a way that I don't think any other person could have done.
Peter is an exceptional executive, and he's a good friend. He's a warm, decent guy, and he's as competitive as they come, which I greatly appreciate.
He's never happy unless he hits the ball a long way, I can tell you that. And of course, he is very successful, but I'm talking about the success of being a father, to be there for your kids. And you can see it. When I'm on the golf course, that's what he's talking about. He's talking about his kids.
Peter always had CBS in his blood because his father worked there for many years, and Peter used to come in with him on Saturday mornings.
Anyone that I've come in contact inside CBS had the utmost respect for him. It started back with his personality on how he ran a basketball team, and I'm sure it has matured and grown from there. He has respect for people, but he demands the best from them, just like he demands it from himself. Congratulations for being inducted to the Broadcasting and Cable Hall of Fame. You deserve it. God bless you.
It is great that Broadcasting and Cable is honoring Peter. He deserves this award as much as anybody in our business. Peter, I salute you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Peter Dunn.
Well, we spoke hockey, Yankee baseball, and now we're going to talk high school basketball. First of all, thank you, Maurice. Thank you, Bill, Charlie, my friend Mike Malone, and all the members of the Hall of Fame Committee. And thank you, Leslie and Frank, for your very kind words. I also want to thank Eric and Jennifer for putting the videos together tonight. The basketball pictures bring back some great memories, even with the white shorts. The one photo of me driving to the hoop, the big guy behind me, was my teammate Tim Cluse, who's now the head coach for the Iona College basketball. 2 years after I graduated from St. Agnes, a kid named Billy Donovan played the point guard position. He's now the head coach for the Oklahoma City Thunder. For the record, I coached the 7th and 8th grade Bronxville basketball team for my son Connor. But the point being is, I've been so lucky in my life to have played on some great teams with amazing talent and leadership on the court, but more importantly, in my professional career. And I know I wouldn't be here if it weren't for all of you. Many of you are here tonight. Thank you for your friendship and your support. The fact is, when I received a call from Bill regarding the Hall of Fame, at first I thought he wanted me to buy some tables to help someone from CBS. So as you can imagine, I'm very flattered and humbled to be part of the amazing group of people who are being honored here this evening. I couldn't help but wish my 95-year-old aunt could be here tonight, since she thought and told all her friends in the building she lived in Brooklyn that I sold TVs for a living and I can get them a good deal. If you only knew how many TVs I had to buy over the years. Although my mom and dad passed before I got my first job with CBS in New York, I know they're smiling down on me, full of pride, as I literally follow in Dad's footsteps every morning when I walk into the building. Actually, WCBS's local news is produced in the same studio my dad worked in 50 years ago for the Captain Kangaroo Show. As I mentioned, I've been very lucky. So to my wife, Becky, thank you for all your love and support. And to our beautiful family, I love you all very much. I want to thank my boss and friend, Leslie Moonves, for all he's done to support me in every way and for giving me this amazing opportunity. It's incredible to be able to work for him and be part of his leadership team, which includes so many talented people. I also want to thank all of my amazing station group colleagues, my headquarters teams, our GMs, and all of our employees at our 27 stations across the country. Thanks also to all of our great partners, especially our clients in the advertising community. It's a privilege to be a broadcaster and have the opportunity to make a difference in our communities by being a trusted source of local news and supporting great organizations like Tunnel to Towers. And I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the tremendous job local TV stations at CBS and elsewhere across the country have done covering breaking news in recent months. Working in local TV is very challenging at times, but it's gratifying to know the public still turns to local stations first and foremost when something big is happening. So thank you again for this wonderful honor.
So while many of you might know our next inductee as the driving force behind NBC Entertainment, Robert Greenblatt is responsible for some of the most iconic shows in television history. And his vision, his creative vision, has extended as far away as Broadway.
I mean, just the statistics, just speed, batting average. Wait, what are we talking about? Oh, Bob Greenblatt.
We start with stars in our eyes. We start believing that we belong. But every sun doesn't rise. And no one tells you where you went wrong. Step out of the sun if you keep getting burned.
I first met Bob when I pitched a story that I wrote called The United States of Tara, and Bob was the head of Showtime, and he actually bought the show, and that was the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Bob likes the making of shows and casting and telling stories, and that's a really nice and refreshing change for showrunners.
He was different than a lot of executives in that Bob attended every single story meeting. He was hands-on without, eliminating the other voices in the room.
Well, you know he can play the piano, right?
Let's don't do that.
Here we go.
Okay. I honestly thought that he was going to do that and then be like, and I quit. That's all I wanted out of this.
Well, I think what makes Bob good at what he does is he's a storyteller. And he's as much a storyteller as the people he hires to tell stories for his NBC, lineups. And he's got taste. And he loves musical theater, and he loves stage, and he understands all the mediums. And he's himself a creative force.
He brought in a new pool of talent to work in TV, pulling from the theater community in a way that was new and exciting. Nobody watched SMASH more than I did. My biggest career regret is that I never got on SMASH, and that I forgot the year that we hosted the Golden Globes that I didn't invite the cast of SMASH to my after party. And that's something that I'm going to have to live with. And I take it day by day. I think Bob deserves to be in the Hall of Fame because he is committed to keeping broadcast TV alive at a time when everyone's trying to smash it.
Bob, congratulations on being inducted into the Broadcast and Cable Hall of Fame.
Hi, Bob. It's Tina. I just wanted to say congratulations on being inducted into the Broadcasting and Cable Hall of Fame. I go to that museum all the time. I'm a lifelong member, so I look forward to seeing your statue.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Robert Greenblatt.
Thank you very much. That's the SVU table, giving me a big cheer here. Thank you very much. I'm really honored to be here. It's kind of shocking to me that this is, the 27th annual Hall of Fame awards, and I'm shocked that there were 270 people who got in before I did, but I'm really pleased and humbled to be here tonight, and this is kind of extraordinary for a kid who 34 years ago packed up a car from rural Illinois and drove to Los Angeles to be part of the entertainment industry, really not knowing anyone out there or what I was going to do, and it's incredible to think that, 30-some years later, I'm standing up here before you. I have to say that for me, this business is really about the relationships and the families that you build around you. And I first got a job young in my career at a film company called Lorimar, which is now long since gone. But I met a man there named Peter Chernin, who became a hero and a mentor of mine and has been responsible for almost everything that's happened in my career since then. I worked with him at the Fox Network shortly thereafter, and I spent several years at the Fox Network really learning how to do this job and how to be a good executive. And I think I'm so happy and so grateful to have had role models throughout my entire career that started with Peter Chernin, but there are more, and I just want to mention a few of them tonight because they're extraordinary people in this business who I think have taught many people, including myself, hopefully how to be good leaders. And they include Leslie Moonves, who was a hero of mine for the 7 years that I had the privilege to work at Showtime, along with Matt Blank and everybody at Showtime. I had the great honor to produce a show at HBO for Chris Albrecht,
who was another, great example of a leader back in the day at HBO. And, most recently at NBC for the past 7 years, their names have come up before, but Brian Roberts and Steve Burke are just extraordinary, extraordinary leaders. And 7 years ago, when they acquired the NBC assets and the NBC network, it was their mission to restore the NBC network to what it once was. It was well known at the time to have fallen into fourth place where it had been for many, many years, and they were determined to rebuild the network. And I was so honored to join them and lead that turnaround. And I'm happy to say broadcast television is alive and well. I'm thrilled that this is a Broadcasting and Cable award. I was thrilled to work in cable television, which is an extraordinary medium, but I also love the power of broadcast television. And I will say that there are literally thousands of people that work with me at NBC, and literally 900 who work in my division. And without all 900 of them, we would be nowhere. And I'm happy to say today we are #1. We are proud of that, and it's really due to all the hard work of the hundreds and hundreds of people that work for me, some of whom are here tonight. Jennifer Salke, who's an extraordinary head of our scripted television, Paul Taleggi, who's not here tonight, who's head of our unscripted television, and many people from my leadership team, George Cheeks and Chip Sullivan, and cheers are welcome for all of these people. It's the best group of people in our business, and I have to say, for me, this is my family, the people that I work with, and every show is its own family, but these companies are really your family, and I think hopefully people wake up every day wanting to come to work, feeling good about the workplace environment, the safe place that we have, but also a place to be proud of. And that really, to me, is about the shows. And I just want to say I'm so grateful and thankful that the whole cast of SVU is here tonight, Mariska and all the incredible actors, many of whom work today, so thank you for coming tonight, all of you. James Spader is here from another extraordinary show we have called The Blacklist, and he worked today also. These people really do make extraordinary sacrifices. I also want to mention Dick Wolf, who is here, a close friend and colleague. Dick is without a doubt the greatest producer of dramatic television of our generation. We have 5 shows on our network alone, and I think he is a big reason why we are #1 again. I have to thank the great Tina Fey and the great Steven Spielberg. I mean, 30-some years ago when I was, driving my little Mustang through the Rocky Mountains trying to figure out, what I was going to do with the rest of my life, I never dreamed that I would one day, call Steven Spielberg and Tina Fey and Dick Wolf and Mariska Hargitay and James Spader and all these wonderful people, friends, colleagues, but also friends. And I love being in this position, this platform that we have to tell great stories and maybe change the world. Shows like, This Is Us, Touch People, and Blacklist and SVU and all these shows. I'm privileged and humbled, and I thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you.
So I understand folks are hungry tonight. The only thing standing between you and your dinner is our next honoree. And that would be tonight's show inductee, which debuted 2 decades ago, if you can believe that. However, The View is just as relevant today as it was back then. Watch.
Everybody's talking.
It's so amazing to meet you, Miss Goldberg.
I haven't been here in so long. Anything new with you guys?
Good morning, I'm Meredith Vieira. It is Monday, August 11th, and this is the first day of our brand new show called The View.
11 a.m. on ABC was truly a wasteland.
Let's go to Hector. Hector, you are a window washer.
Correct.
Daytime network executives came to me and Bill Getty and said, got any ideas for a daytime program?
I've always
always wanted to do a show with women of different generations, backgrounds, and views.
At the time, it was revolutionary to have women having the conversations.
Everyone thinks we were a hit from day one. Well, we weren't.
Barbara had to go like door to door to get stations to watch us.
Hello? I'm fine, darling. How are you?
How y'all doing? Y'all good?
We just won over the audience piece by piece.
Come here, bitch. Come to New York.
I'm a big fan of this show. This is like, I really made it.
TNA, baby. But wait, open
Why's my big black box so much bigger than yours?
When people are watching and they don't know what you're going to do next, it's the best kind of television.
Can we get back to what you were attacking me for when I wasn't here?
Viewers love the feuds in the show.
Listen to me because you'll learn.